allow Kenyans to speak their own mind, to speak what they want to know about the report. When he stood to speak, you saw how the MPs, even the young MPs, the like of Babu Owino, was standing up and yelling at Kipchumba Murkomen and telling him to sit down, because the guy was speaking the truth. The guy was speaking what was in his mind, because we want to look at a Kenyan whereby we are united and we speak about in one language. To discuss about the report yesterday, I love the speech of the Mombasa governor, Joho, and the speech of the ANC leader, Musalia Mudavadi. We need to speak about these Kenyans, not sitting down to discuss about how we will distribute ourselves the leadership roles. This one will take this, this one will take this, this one will take this. No, we want to speak about, number one, about the inclusivity. When we're speaking about the inclusivity, who are these people we need to give this position, rather to include into the government? We want to look at the doctors, we want to look at the teachers. These are people who have been suffering most. We want this report to create a space for them. And again, we need to have a report whereby the laws are being followed, and the dependence of the judiciary, and again, is there. So generally, yesterday, what happened was like they were coming to affirm what they've been discussing about.
Yeah, all along. Yeah, and
Mariam, if I can just say something.
Yeah.
Yesterday, honestly speaking, the BBI vehicle lost one tire. And why am I saying this? Because, you know, this was supposed, when you listen to the sentiments of Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto at State House when they were receiving the report, their sentiments were really anchored on the fact that this is a discourse, you know. This is the start of an argument. This is the start of a conversation to really move forward as a country and speak on what has been said on the report. But again, yesterday, it really portrayed that, you know, if you're not thinking what I'm thinking, then you are my enemy, which should really not be the case. Because one thing that we must accept as human beings is that we are never the same, and we can never be the same, and we have never been the same, as a matter of fact. In that you will always have a difference of opinion. It is just that, why do you say this? Why am I saying this? Which makes more sense? Let's go with that.
Exactly.
And Mariam, if there's something that I must say, is that I think there are mad people in this country, and they are not in Mathare. Why do I say this?
Why do you say that, Higan?
If you look at the sentiments that have come out in the social media, and some have been captured on the Standard, is that there are people who are proposing that we should go for a referendum. I mean, I said yesterday, look at Article 255, 256 of the Kenyan Constitution.
Yes.
You don't need to go to a referendum to make constitutional amendments. You can do it in Parliament.
Exactly, yes.
I don't really, you know, sometimes I really shudder to think, you know, what is wrong with us? Because you can't tell me that right now we are, with the way the economy is, people are dying in Pokot. I mean, there is no relief aid there.
Yeah.
You know, there is a cash crunch at the counties. Suppliers haven't been paid to up to 2011. And it's causing the cash crunch that we're having in our economy. And you want to tell Kenyans that let's take 20 billion plus and go to a referendum on something that we can do in Parliament.
Exactly, yeah.
That is madness.
Yeah, and if I can call your attention, you did mention that some of the people were left out. While watching the news yesterday, we did take a look at, you know, one of the representatives for the physically challenged people. He said there was nobody there to represent them, and yet we call this an inclusive, you know, bargaining chip for every Kenyan in the country. You did want to give a comment on this?
Yeah, I didn't have an opportunity to watch news yesterday, but rather I watched this clip online, and the guy was really not really, you don't have to describe how physically challenged he was, but the guy who came all the way from Trans Nzoia, coming to Nairobi. He thought that his views will be hard. Listen, the guy is coming, no one is speaking about the physically challenged, no one is saying about the position of the physically challenged in the report, but rather what we are discussing about is distributing political powers. Telling us how this one will take this one will take this, with this and take this. Yes, we have discussed about the role of women and giving the women an opportunity, yes, that is okay. We have discussed about the role of youth and giving youth an opportunity in the government. What about the role of the physically challenged? What about the role of the people who come from deep, where they don't see the light? Because this is what we really need to chat about. Because from time immemorial, we have forgotten the physically challenged people because we haven't given them an opportunity. If you find out that the position that I've given to them in the parliament is very few, you find out the representative, those who representing the physically challenged people in the parliament are always 3 or 4 whom they can't serve the purpose. Yeah. So that was a very, very big problem, and it didn't portray a very good picture yesterday according to what they were doing yesterday, because we thought they should be given an opportunity. Yes,
and I think that now they should take that into concern, because very soon we'll be celebrating.
They can't take that into concern because these people are after getting their own power, getting how they will control their own life and control their own children.
The International Day for the Physically Challenged is also coming, so I think Kenyans should also take this opportunity to also air out.
We will discuss about that. They will come, we will organize a very big function.
And conferences.
And conferences and discuss about it. And it ends there.
So what do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is the implementation. What we discuss about, we need to implement it. We are going to implement
clauses in the BBI? Because today when you take a look at the papers, all the papers are hailing, the new game plan for Kenya, a fresh start for Kenya. Do you think
this is a fresh start for Kenya?
Do you think there's some clauses that should be changed in the BBI?
I don't think there is a fresh start
again.
You don't think there's a fresh start for Kenya? There is nothing new that has been brought in the BBI for you to actually celebrate, Keegan?
Let me tell you why. There were things that I thought we would celebrate on, but now I think differently. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Because as Kenyans, we are not looking at these things on the basis of merit and on the basis that kila mtu afaidike.
Yeah.
It's now against Tanga versus Kieleweke. It's now them versus us.
Yeah.
That kind of a mentality, really, it's not the way forward. I'm highly proposing that this thing should be taken to, I've had the sentiments of lawyers here.
Yeah.
But I highly suggest we don't have 20 billion plus to go to a referendum. Exactly. Let's take this thing to Parliament. And when we take it to Parliament, we will need 2/3 to pass it. But again, if the conversation that started yesterday at Bomas is going to translate to Parliament, then we are not going to get a 2/3.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying it. And yesterday, this thing really put me off, starting from Senator Yusuf Haji, because when Murkomen was booed off the stage, and he went there to sort of calm the situation, because he was the man of the day.
Yes, and he told people to actually
he said, while looking at Junet Mohammed, sort of addressing Junet Mohammed, he said, wacha yeye aseme yake, sisi tutafanya yetu. I mean, he took sides and he was the chairman of the BBI. So I was wondering, what is the way forward starting from here? Because we shouldn't be taking sides, Yeah. We should allow, if I'm telling you, Mariam, and this you can take it to the bank. This conversation is going to be replicated in Parliament. What happened in Bomas, and we are not going to get that 2/3. So if from that, even if we had good things, and now this is the mood, this is the attitude of the people, of the members of Parliament, translating to the citizens. I mean, we're not moving forward. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, we are not moving forward.
Yeah, very emotional Keegan there, as well as Dennis.
Not emotional, really.
Not agreeing to the BBI kindly. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Remember, you can join in our discussion on our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Horizontv Kenya, or you can chat with me directly on my Facebook at Mariam Kasim. See you in a short while. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Kuna
na faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani.
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV. La kutafakari.
Ahibati fillah, mwanadamu hatakani kumuonesha mtu mgonjwa kwamba amechoka naye. Yeye hakujitakia maradhi, sawa awe ni mzazi wako, awe ni ndugu yako, awe ni mke wako, yeye mwenyewe hana raha kwamba ni mgonjwa. Kisha mtu aja kumuonesha kwamba wewe uko hivi, wewe uko hivi. Kwani ndio yeye alituma application kwa Mwenyezi Mungu akasema nataka kuwa mgonjwa? Tayari ana dhiki. Usiwe ni sababu ya kumuongezea maradhi na dhiki katika maisha yake. Sheitani tayari amtia waswasi, amuonesha kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu hakupendi, Mwenyezi Mungu amekutupa, si wewe ndio ulikuwa ukiswali, si wewe ndio ulikuwa ukitoa sadaka, leo Mwenyezi Mungu amekuacha patupu. Sheitani tayari yomshawishi. Kisha aja mwanadamu aja kumuonesha kwamba mimi nimechoka na wewe siwezi kukuhudumia. Ahibati fillah, ni khasara. Ni khasara iwe ni wewe ni chanzo cha kumsaidia sheitani amshinde ndugu yako nguvu.
La kutafakari. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for staying tuned to the premier Islamic TV station Horizon TV. Do welcome to the second segment of the Sabah Show newspaper review. Today we were talking about the BBI report that was launched yesterday and actually discussed. And my question right now, gentlemen, if I can start with Dennis and Zoveri. Kenyans have been given the opportunity to poke holes into the BBI report. You know, say what they don't like, what they need, they think needs to be changed so that Kenya can actually have this fresh start for the country. Do you think through the members of parliament this will actually happen?
It's actually first and foremost, before we give the public an opportunity to look at to the report, first of all we need now to go back to the members of our county assemblies. They need to pass. We need to have the majority of the members of the counties supporting the report first. Then it comes to the parliament. The parliament will be supported by the majority, then the Senate. Then the Kenyans will have now an opportunity to look at the report, and only views that the Kenyans would go through, it will be through the ballot voting, through the referendum, yes or no. First of all, we need to create now the questions that will be asked during the referendum. That's now the common wananchi will have an opportunity to be listened to through his views. But right now, as we speak right now, we are just speculating, and we will just discuss like a common wananchi will just discuss, because we will now just have an opportunity just to talk, but our views will not be put into consideration, because we will not be having that constitutional right. But right now, what we need to discuss about it now is being given the parliament an opportunity to now discuss it into very soberly, to know what to be included and what to be removed into the law. Because before we pass the law, for example, the 45% of counties, the parliament can just pass it. The parliament they have to sit down to craft a law, a bill. The bill comes to the parliament, they pass the bill, then we allow the county governments to be given 45% of the national budget. So that is clearly, it will go through the parliament. With some things we now allow them to go first to the parliament before we go to the having a referendum. But now you find out that we are not having a goodwill. If we don't have a goodwill, and if we don't accommodate each other and creating position that one thinks that this one is to undermine me, and this one to give another person an opportunity to be in government, then we will miss it out. So Raila should now come out to speak very well to other members. Rahulu should come out to speak very well to other members of parliament, so that they create an environment whereby this report will easily pass through the parliament, will easily pass through the Senate, and we have an opportunity to discuss it.
Kigen, it looks like the bill, the BBI report is actually going to pass. In your opinion, do you think it's going to pass in Parliament? Because according to the Daily Nation here, it says the report is likely to sail through Parliament without much opposition.
Yeah, it can sail through Parliament if the conversation and the happenings of Bomas of Kenya yesterday does not, move into the Parliament. If we sort of sanitize what happened in Bomas yesterday and sobriety prevails now in the Parliament, then it's going to be an easy ride. But you had earlier asked that, will Kenyans give their views? Kenyans are giving their views. But for a moment, I think we are playing games. Because yesterday, I heard that another task force will be formed to now hear the responses of Kenyans concerning this. I mean, why should you create a task force to hear the responses of what Kenyans themselves put up in the first place?
Exactly. Kenyans have representatives. Kenyans can air out their views to their
representatives. We are in Starehe constituency right now. And the reason why all of us, all the people, the thousands of people in Starehe constituencies don't go to Parliament to make a law is because they're represented by Charles Njagua. That's why we have 290 people who are representing 47 million people. And now, I mean, it makes very good sense that let these 290 people duly represent these 47 million people and make the decisions.
Yeah, they should just come back to us, ask us what do we want. After we tell them what we want, or the decision we want to be included or rather to be removed, then they'll go to Parliament, they make the changes. That's clear. Yeah,
let me call your attention to a story here on the Standard, page 10. Tanzanian minister warns against ethnicity, and it goes on to say Tanzania's Foreign Affairs Minister Palamagamba Kabudi has asked Kenyans to shun tribalism and ethnic antagonism experienced every electioneering period. And he goes on to say, Kenya is actually a very good example of a country in East Africa. Tanzania and Uganda look up to Kenya, but the only thing that is destroying Kenya is tribalism and ethnicity. Is there a time that really we're going to be talking something else, Kigen, if I can come to you, aside from ethnicity and tribalism here in the country?
I think Palamagamba Kabudi yesterday really spoke with so much zeal, and really brought out the issue of tribalism, which we must admit, is messing us to some extent.
Yes, it's a wound in the country.
It was a good show, especially from the good people of Tanzania to their neighbors here in Kenya, that we are together in this and we support you, because it sometimes last year and the year before last year we really questioned our diplomatic ties with Tanzania, and really seeing them now even in such a historic day and a historic moment for Kenya coming together with us is really a good gesture. And coming into the issue of tribalism, as I've always said, my position has always been this. Tribalism is mostly fueled by the fact that we have an equal distribution of resources in Kenya, where resources are divided simply on the basis that who sits on the top chair. If the person sitting on the top chair comes from your tribe, then that tribe, gets to benefit. And really, if we did due diligence, and this is borrowed, from the colonial period, if I can say, and that's why we have, Kenya has been imbalanced and we have marginal areas, because the colonialists wasn't a government whose intention was really to empower people, and to really make life easier for their people, irrespective of who they are and where they come from. But, the colonial kind of structure was the British East African company. It was a company.
Yeah.
And the company, the main aim is to to reduce the cost and you know, maximize the profit. So
Yeah.
for them it was a business, and sadly we took that kind of a demonstration, and thanks to devolution now we're having things expanding. So as I've always said, if we can have equitable, you know, share of resources, then tribalism wouldn't be a really big issue, because irrespective of who's on the top seat, irrespective of who's the boss, we still will have development and empowerment.
Yeah. Dennis and Zoberi, if I can ask you, how can we eradicate ethnicity in the country, especially during electioneering period?
Yeah, well, first, as my brother has said, that we need to have equal share of the national cake. If we share the national cake equally, then we'll shun away from tribalism. But our brothers from the Eastern African community are looking upon Kenya to make the right decision. If Kenyans make the right decision, then you know, the gateway to East Africa is through Kenya. So Kenya should make the right decision, because all the East African countries depend on Kenya. And they are coming to us, look, Kenya, we are looking up to you. Shun away from tribalism. Look up to, like, we need you to be you be sober when making your decision, because as a country and as a community, we really depends on you. And the wrong decision you make will affect us, all of us as a community. So eradicating ethnicity in our country is through inclusivity. We need to include each and every person into the power, or rather to the national cake, so that we all feel that we are part of this. And
but don't you think devolution was supposed to do that?
Devolution was supposed to do that. Even down to the counties, we are having a complaint, because people still complain that people from this community in our county, they're getting more resources as compared to these people from this community. So this still happens, because we need to have an honest discussion, and we need to have honesty when we deal with this distribution of resources in our counties. So, and again, ethnicity will we spread ethnicity through politics, because the kind of politics we play will really tell the kind of outcome we're going to have. If someone tells you that don't vote for that person because he doesn't come from our community, or she doesn't come from our community, she doesn't represent the interest of our community, then we are missing it out as a country. Yeah.
Let's take a look at a story on page 44 of the Standard newspaper. Europe backs out of fossil fuel projects, and it goes on to say the European Union has urged the Kenyan government to increase its focus on generating power through renewable energy resources or other sources, as the European Investment Bank, that's the EIB, plans to stop financing fossil fuel projects. And if I can remember a while back when we were talking about, you know, environmental degradation, and this is why we say that Kenya has great potential. Kenya has resources. We have trees, we have wind, we have water, we have more dams than we did before. We have the Nile that should be generating enough electricity or power that we need. And I think this is a step that Kenyans, you know, this is a call that Kenyans need to take seriously. Keegan, what's your thought on that?
One thing that we can't afford two things actually that we can never afford to mess with is the economy and environment.
Yeah.
You know, and for the environment, you can see, you know, the last week, if I'm not wrong, it was published on the Daily Nation that Kenya loses annually around 12,600 hectares of forest due to illegal logging, you know, and illegal people coming into the forest and inhabiting the forest. And we've seen, you know, the tragic effects of it, you know, with our rivers and even with our weather patterns, you know.
Exactly, and the landslides, the floods.
Absolutely. And now the issue of fossil fuel is something that we really must not overlook. We have to move to the clean energy, not because other people are moving to the clean energy, but because because we have learned, and I hope we are learning from what is happening to the forests.
Yeah.
My position has always been that Kenya is blessed. We have a wide range, a wide network of sources of energy. I mean, we have wind power in Loyangalani, and you've heard that even in Samburu there is an even larger, you know, wind capacity, and much can be done even greater than Loyangalani. We have solar, we have geothermal, and we also have hydroelectric power. You see, this is a wide range that can be explored. We really don't need to go back to the carbon-related sort of fossil fuels.
Yeah, Dennis, I remember there was a time back when we were in school, I don't know if you also did these activities, all schools, all primary schools, you know, lower primary all the way to upper primary, we used to have these activities for tree planting, you know, beach cleaning, and even the dams, we used to clean them. I remember there was a time we went to Kisumu and removed water hyacinth from the lake. So don't you think this is something that we should come back and embrace? Because today's children, I think they only, you know, play PlayStation 4 and you know, read books and have tablets. And, yeah, don't you think this is something that we should come back and do?
Yes, it's actually, as a country, we should now embrace this what the European are telling us. But I have a question. There is a question mark somewhere. Why are they coming at the time when Kenya we have discovered oil in Turkana?
So you think there's a hidden agenda?
Yeah, there is an agenda. They are telling us they are not going to support this project because we are like causing an environmental issues, and what they discuss. Always read the mind of the Europeans. They will always think ahead of us. They will always see ahead of us. They want us not to finance us, so that they will bring their own people to come and take the oil. They take the oil back to their country, then they sell it to us. Kenyans, we must be brave when it comes to these Europeans. But the issue of environment, we really need to support the issue of environment. Yeah. We need to plant trees. We need to ensure that our environment is very clean. Because for a better Kenya, we need to have a better environment.
Yeah, that's
true. Better planting of trees. But my brother said that we have windmill, solar, and whatever. We really need to improve on that and create more of that, so that we improve on environmental issues. Because the climate change is a very big problem to us.
And also support the people who also fought for environment. You know, like the likes of Wangari Maathai. She really put a big fight, and for us to just destroy that, it's really derailing of her efforts.
If I can just say something,
you know,
this issue of because we are discussing.
Okay, I'm being told that we're out of time. Can we come back to that comment after the break, kindly, if you don't mind? So you're watching the newspaper review. This is the second segment. We are taking a short break. We'll be right back on our last segment. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Healthy Thursday is not just about diseases. It's about food, lifestyle, milestones in the medical practitioner's field, especially in our Muslim Ummah, and more so, your health. Discover breakthroughs and milestones in the medical field. Learn how to manage diseases.
There was no painful.
Join the discussion. Make better decisions on your meal plans. Improve your lifestyle.
All the doctors who are there were tired of working in maternity and taking care of women. And they say, you are the new kid on the block. We are leaving this department to you.
Healthy Thursday is about you, about your family, your lifestyle. So keep it locked Horizon TV on Healthy Thursday with me, Mariam Mwacharo.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakwetu wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show. Welcome back. We're discussing the newspaper review this morning on the Sabah Show. Keegan, before we took a break, you wanted to add something on that fossil fuel backing of the European Union.
Just on the whole environment landscape, I think we have a peculiar behavior amongst us Kenyans, where we feel when we have these discussions and conversations around the environment, we always think it's far-fetched, but I really want these conversations to come to us, where it starts with us. You know, when you eat that sweet, that lollipop, and you throw away that pepper not in a dustbin, I mean, it's you. It's starting with you. I mean, you are the problem. You know, when you go to a place, I mean, you're just throwing things anywhere, anyhow. It starts with you. So this thing is not far-fetched. It is part and parcel of our behavior, and really, let's take a personal responsibility going forward. Yeah,
and I remember we were having this discussion with some of my friends, and some of the guys, actually, you'll tell me, because you're also gentlemen yourselves, they say, mimi siezi tembea na chupa kwa mkono when it is empty for I don't know how long, just so I can throw it into a trash can. Is that true, Keegan? Do you feel bothered when you do that?
I mean, why should I feel bothered, you know, unless I'm crazy or something. Honestly, it's just a bottle, nothing much, you know. There is that whole conversation about gangster points, you know, that's a different conversation. but also I feel the government has to improve, as well as the county governments as well, with the national government, where sometimes you can walk with an empty bottle for even 3 kilometers without seeing a dustbin.
Exactly.
So we should really,
they should really
be put out there, the bins. But also I've seen some companies which have done the corporate social responsibility by putting up the dustbins by the roadsides and in public places, which is exemplary, and I really want to submit to other companies also as the corporate social responsibility to follow suit.
And county government pia should take a look at that, because sometimes we pass by, you know, on the roadsides, and when you dump it actually goes down. It's you know, exactly. Dennis and Zaveri, would you mind walking with a banana peel for 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers in your bag, smelling like bananas or fish bones until you can dispose of them?
Yes, because I really mind about our environment. I've always been part and parcel of those guys who have been championing the issues of environment. Even at our own lower levels, we organize cleanup, so I can't afford to throw litters and throw plastic bags around. I always feel very bad and very embarrassed when I'm traveling in these matatus and someone drinks water and throws it is
very annoying.
I really have to go and ask him a big question. What are you doing? Is this right? So those are the things we really need to improve. But the county government should improve. I really want to thank the county government of Mombasa. I've really improved in terms of bins and how to dispose these things. And even the county really clean as compared to Nairobi.
Okay, guess Nairobi should take an example from Mombasa County 001. Let's take a look at Daily Nation, page 8. There we have a story, 21 cases of malpractices reported as KCSE ends. A total of 21 cases of examination malpractice were reported in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams that ended yesterday. And that's according to Cabinet Secretary George Magoha. And you remember, before exams started, when George Magoha was actually taking up his seat, he said, I will work hard and make sure that there's no more cheating. And I think this is exemplary. You know, the whole country, there's millions of students who actually take up KCSE exams, hundreds of thousands, and only 21 cases he's actually working towards eradicating cheating. Dennis and Zoveri, if I can come to you, do you think that there's one day we're going to be talking about KCSE exams and results, and there'll be no cases of cheating at all with this progress?
Yes. It will depend now with the kind of people who have entrusted with the position, and the policy makers and the policy implementers. So I want to thank now first and the Cabinet Secretary for Education, George Magoha, for what they have really done a good job to ensure that there is a sincere and there is a not much cheating when it comes to exams, and the exams are very kept well from our children, because we need to raise a country whereby we speak honesty. We will always enjoy the good results because of out of the honesty we have. Let's just take an instance whereby you employ someone who copied an exam in high school. That person doesn't know anything, because that's why you see there is a rise of corruption in our country. There is rise because when something that is supposed to be done with 1 day, someone will do it with 2 days. Because the reason why, there are people who don't know what they're really doing, because they just pass through the system and the system favored them.
Yeah.
But right now we are looking at now from 2013, when now the internal security minister took office in the education sector. They really did a very big reforms in the education sector. Now we are speaking about 21 cases. When we were speaking about 200 and 2,000 cases where students have been found cheating exams. But we need to have a greater improvement when moving forward, because now we had 21 cases, 100 phones were found, but come next year, we are speaking about 0. No one will be found, because there is a harsh repercussion that is going to be implemented to the 21 people, the students who are found cheating.
Yeah.
So we need to improve, because, and again, we don't want to look at the children. We want to look at who are these people behind them. Because you can't tell me a child in Vihiga County will come to Nairobi to look for exams. There is someone who is telling them that I'll give you the exam. Even the teachers must be held accountable. The principals must be held accountable.
That's what they've actually been doing. Some of the cases that have been reported, like some university students who actually paid to take up primary school education, you know, examination rather, or secondary school examination. Keegan, there's a question here that has been posted by one of our viewers, if I can pose it to you. He says, most of the time, sisi yes, tunajua kuhusu cheating and everything, na watu wengine wanaandikwa kazi. Some of the people I know, okay, he mentioned a particular gender, but say, some of the people I know, tumeenda nao shuleni, they never attended a single class, never did a single cut, but they succeeded and got, you know, first classes with honors. I think you should pose this question. Before someone applies for a job and before they're taken for a job, should they also have an interview?
I don't think
like an exam.
I don't think our beloved viewer here should really worry. And this is why I'm saying this. You know, this thing, it's always a matter of time till it catches up with you. Whether you've engaged in malpractice in primary school, it will catch up with you in high school, in university, or at the workplace. For the lack of a better phrase, I usually say it's postponing or procrastinating your stupidity. You know, you're not telling yourself the truth.
Yeah.
So what the ideal case is that you engage in malpractice, you know, you get good grades in Form 4. And when you get when you get A's, your parents tell you, hey, congratulations, you know, your relatives, your friends, wow. I mean, you've gotten an A, this is fantastic. Take up engineering, take up medicine.
Yeah.
And you clearly know this, your strength, you know, your frequency can't match medicine or engineering. So when you get to there,
frequency,
you get that the network is not there. You know, you start getting frustrated, and this is majorly contributing to the mental health problems that we are having in our tertiary institutions today.
Yeah. Because
it is a backlog of affairs from high school and primary school. And if you make it with malpractice again, you get to a workplace. And when you get to a workplace, particularly to the corporate society, to the private sector, where it's purely about merit. And you can't deliver on basic things of, you know, even using a computer. And now it catches up with you squarely now.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's not a joke. But one thing that we must have, first of all, we have to congratulate Magoha and Matiangi for the great work they did. You know, they really put their feet down on making sure people do not steal exams, as it is said in Kenya.
Yeah.
But one thing that we must come to fact with, yes, we are not allowing people to cheat, but how are we dealing with the intention to cheat? Because the intention to cheat is still there. So how are we curbing the intention to cheat? And I think we have to throw the ball to the parents and to the teachers. How are you curbing this intention to cheat? Because I would love to cheat. It's just I'm not cheating because I just don't have a platform to cheat. And that is something that you should really face, because what kind of a generation are we creating? Let's not, as a parent, as a teacher, don't help your child to postpone or procrastinate his stupidity.
Let's take another story very quickly here. I'm being told we only have 2 minutes. Turning the tide or in war against cat, circumciser abandons razor. And it goes on to say that during the months of August, November and December, most women in Baringo and Rongai in Nakuru County are expected to go through a rite of passage. Female circumcision, also known as female genital cutting, is still rampant, where dozens of girls go through the rite either willingly or forcefully. And we've heard of these cases. However, this is actually good, because there's a mother here who is 66 years old, and before she used to practice the cut, but now she's actually an activist against female genital mutilation. And I think we should take examples of this, because according to, you know, health reports, it says that any lady who goes through female genital mutilation, it's like taking out some of the functions of her own body. Keegan, if it were upon you, what would you do to actually end FGM in the country here in Kenya?
You know, for FGM, you know, for decades, we've heard that people have died.
Yeah.
You know, people have lost their relatives, you know, through this FGM process, you know, and the circumcision in general, where young girls, you know, they have died, they've been denied school, you know, education. And, you know, we have this affair where, you know, it's very restrictive, you know, to progress. And my appeal is really that we really don't need people to die, you know, because of FGM.
Yeah.
You know,
because of a rite of passage.
In Kenya, we are struggling. Let people die of cancer. Let people die of many other things, you know. But FGM, I don't think so.
Yeah. And so very, very quickly, 30 seconds.
So we have always failed to understand where we should throw our guns.
Yeah.
Because like what pushes for FGM? That is men. The man wants a woman who is cut.
You're actually the first man I have heard
according to their traditions. Though we need now to advise these men first before we go to the women, because the men will now need, we need to have a discussion at the lower levels, men, and tell the men that, look, it's a high time we look for women, not basing on their cut or they have not cut. These is the things that are longer past. And it's very disgusting as a country right now. We're discussing about the issue of FGM. When a country, we can discuss it, we have the powers to end the FGM. You will look, there is another day that a chief in Kajiado County, he was complaining about the terrain region, that he can't reach there where the cuts have been done because of the transport system and whatever. As a country, we are still discussing about that, because we need to have clear methods to end these things. But I'm happy that the issue of FGM is coming to, the rate is going lower and lower and lower.
And the fight
so
is
in the
also
next 2 years and 1 year, if we all pick up the challenge, we will end it.
Yeah, and I've been told that, you know, according to research, is that FGM is just continuing because of a lack of awareness. You know, people don't have knowledge over the adverse effects of FGM. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming to the newspaper review today. I really enjoyed today's episode. And to you too, our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Do not go away. When we come back, we'll be talking about some of the most common infectious diseases that affect our children. And actually, because they are here with us over the holiday season, how can we teach them to adopt proper measures in order to prevent them from catching these common colds and infections every now and then so often? See you in a short while. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amani juu yako mtazamaji. Wanakuita wanatambua kama Mariam Mwacharo. Unatizama The Sabah Show.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani.
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
The biggest consumer expo in East Africa, now on Thika Road Mall, TRM, on the 3rd floor. The Egypt and Middle East Expo from the 27th November till 9th of December 2019. Shop till you drop on various high-quality products such as furniture, carpets, kitchenware, leather products, handicrafts, clothes, furnishing, jewelry, perfumes, natural oils and herbs, and many more other products from Egypt, India, Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, Syria, and Singapore. Don't miss your chance to visit the Egypt and Middle East Expo from 27th November till the 9th of December 2019 at the Thika Road Mall, TRM, on the 3rd floor. Open daily from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. and entry is absolutely free.
PostU Education Center presents you with the opportunity to expand your knowledge base and professionalism by studying for a bachelor's degree, master's or PhD in Turkey. Come meet with various representatives from the Turkish University at Woodville Grove Reliance Center, 4th floor, Westlands, Nairobi, at no cost at all. Do the entry exam and wait for the chance to shine bright in your career. For more information, call us on 0704 581-850 in Nairobi or 0768-338-200 in Mombasa, and in Kisumu is 0720-059091. You can also reach us in Tanzania at +255-7159-66160. In Rwanda is +250-780-105-022, and in Uganda is +256-702-394-588. PostU Education Center.
Walk with us as we tell you the stories of our society.
Wengine atavaa mtandio kichwani, utafikiri ni kijihandkerchief.
Enzi za wakati wa kusema ati alisema, akasisitiza, akihutubia wanahabari, enzi hizo hazipo tena.
Kuchimbua na kunakili matukio kwa undani.
We want to create current awareness
ranging from adventure, human interest and inspirational stories, ili kuweza kukuelimisha, kukuburudisha na kukuburudisha. Words have been said, but now it is time to lay the foundation that will impact the world.
Terrorism is